Greetings, my friends, and welcome to the first broadcast from the First Church of the Presence of God. Now, it's going to appear a bit unorthodox to those of you who are fundamentalists from any particular creed. I'm sorry about that, but this is what I have come to understand in this life that I have lived so far. And I wanted to share with you in this first broadcast how I pray and meditate, excuse me, the 3 or 4 times each day when I do it. It varies somewhat, but it generally operates along a similar theme. And this is just really to give an idea. Many of my readers have asked me about my program, and so I've decided here with this first broadcast to give a demonstration model, if you will. And ordinarily, of course, I'd be sitting over there and I'd be in more of a lotus position. And of course, I'd have my eyes closed, but that probably, I don't know, that could work too. But as it so happens, I'm simply going to go through the motions with you or for you during this broadcast. Now, usually what I do is I will close my eyes and then I will repeat so hum, so hum, so hum, so hum, so hum, so hum, which for our purposes means I am that. That is what I am. There are a number of ways to articulate it or interpret it, but that's pretty much what it is. And what you're doing is acknowledging the indwelling deity that exists within all of us, more so than others in terms of the awareness being present. And following that, I will say, greetings, divine rishis. Greetings to my teacher. Greetings, Lord God Almighty. Greetings, Divine Mother. Greetings, Lord Ishvara and Lord Jesus the Christ. Greetings to my invisible friends and to my friends from the Devic realm, those angels and devis that are kind enough to be here presently as we conduct this meditation and prayer. I will ask, as I often do, and I pray believing that you will answer this at time and place of your choosing, but I am certain that you will answer it. Grant me self-realization. Grant me the knowledge and conversation of my holy guardian angel. Grant me, Lord, your qualities. Grant me, Lord, an intensification of your indwelling presence. Grant me divine luminous wisdom. Grant me, Lord, the power, the ability to heal, and the wisdom to know when and when not to perform it. And grant me, as Paramhansa Yogananda has told me I can ask you for, grant me a loan from your spiritual bank, sufficient to my being able to acquire everything I just asked you for. And I pray that you will confer upon me whatever I fail to ask for or am unaware of that will assist me in my work of serving you and humanity. I am the eternally pure, free, self-illuminating Atman. I will repeat that at least 3 times. Then I might say, Lord, thank you for permanently stilling my reactive mind. Lord, please intensify your indwelling presence. Divine Mother, thank you for setting me free. Now, the reason I do that is because it is the Divine Mother who is the Shakti, the energy of this universe, the entire manifest reality of creation, who has us trapped in the first place, and who has the power, should she desire, to grant us liberation or to set us free. Now, this Divine Mother is also the indwelling Kundalini, the goddess Kundalini. They're the same, except this is a personalized expression of her within the kunda, at the sacrum or the base of the spine of every one of us. This is not just a Hindu concept, okay, my friends? You may be familiar a century or two ago with a group of Christians called the Shakers. And they were called that because of this, and that was the Kundalini energy. It's a spiritual force and power within an individual that, well, later and in another broadcast, we're getting into a little more detail with it, because tonight we're just really showing you the means and manner I go about this with. It is at this point that I will then ask the goddess Kundalini to please rise in me and cleanse all of my chakras and rise to her highest place of residence within me. And what I then do is I will breathe in with one nostril for 4 seconds. I will hold it for 16 seconds, while as I count each increment, I hammer down into the kunda, where the head of the serpent is, right down upon the head of the serpent, okay? Encouraging it to rise. This is a yogic technique. It's not just me, inventing these things. After that, then I will exhale through the other nostril for 8 beats. And then I will, during those 8 beats, I will again hammer on the head of the serpent. Then I will inhale through the nostril that I just expelled through, and then wait for 16 beats again. Then exhaling back through the nostril I originally began with, and then drawing back in again. Waiting 16 beats again, then expelling through the right nostril, and then drawing it up again, then hammering on the head of the serpent for another 16 beats, and then through the left nostril, expelling for 8 beats, and then it ends. Seems rather brief and whatever, but this is something that it's cumulative, and it builds and it builds and it builds. And we're talking about the radiant energy, and it can be affected by that hammering that is taking place. Just the same as when we are insistent in prayer with God, okay? We hammer at the door. Hammer at the door. Don't make me come down there. That's what you want to hear. And I've actually heard that on occasion. That's the effect you're looking for. Yes, you have to pester and bother God You have to do it deliberately, intensely, and with all of the force that you can manage, all right? Don't have any hesitation or restraint in this regard. Get right at it. Be insistent, because this time we live in right now, liberation is more possible than at many another time. And what's also possible is a huge quantum leap spiritually. That's why there are so many distractions. That's why so many people are caught in the material world. That's why all this craziness is going on, because of the degree of difficulty. We're now living in a time of apocalypse. So a lot of what can take place is going to be taking place in this time frame. All right, then following that breathing technique, I have another little affirmation that I use, which is every particle of my being, from the grossest to the most fine, is filled with the love and presence of God. Every particle of my being, from the grossest to the most fine, is filled with the presence and the love of God. And I will say that several times. And I may pause here and there between each of these. I don't like to get too regimented. I like to keep it very loose and free-flowing. These are just examples. It could vary a great deal, but some of them happen every time. And some will only happen, say, for instance, in the morning in the first meditation, like what I'm now about to show you. And that is the pattern on the trestle board. You have to imagine the tree of life behind you. So let's say if you were looking directly at it, wisdom would be here and understanding would be here, coming out of the crown kether. But it's behind you, so actually wisdom is going to be here and understanding here. You'll have to look up the tree of life if you don't know what it is. These are stations of consciousness. They're actually planes of existence. And I'll be getting into all of the meaning of that when I do my tarot seminar, which is going to be coming along within the next day or so. At least the initial lesson will be. Anyway, now to the pattern on the trestle board. So we'll go like this. Because above me is Kether, the crown. And I'll go, I am a center of expression for the primal will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe. Chakma. Through me, its unfailing wisdom takes form in thought and word. Bina. Filled with understanding of its perfect law, I am guided moment by moment along the path of liberation. From the exhaustless riches of its limitless substance, I draw all things needful, both spiritual and material. I recognize the manifestation of the undeviating justice in all the circumstances of my life. In all things, great and small, I see the beauty of the divine expression. Living from that will, supported by its unfailing wisdom and understanding, mine is the victorious life. I look forward with confidence to the perfect realization of the eternal splendor of the limitless light. In thought, in word, and in deed, I rest my life from day to day upon the sure foundation of eternal being. The kingdom of the Spirit is embodied in my flesh. Now, let me add here, I didn't want to confuse myself while I was doing the routine, but when I came down from Chakma and Bina, then I came down to Chazet. That's the sphere of mercy. And that's also abundance and many things of that nature. I draw all things needful, both spiritual and material. And here then is Gebura. That's severity. And that's where you recognize the karma that is your due through whatever your life debts may be. Here then you go to Tiphareth, which is beauty, and that is the sun shining through, and also the station of Jesus the Christ as he exists in us. Then Netzach, which is the sphere of Venus, and Hod, which is the sphere of Mercury. Then foundation, which is the sphere of the moon, subconscious. And then Malkuth, which is earth and the kingdom for which we live in. And you're either living, say, in Middle Earth, you're in hell, or you're in heaven. Very few are in one, many are in the other, and more than that than are here are there. And wherever you are is determined by the degree of your suffering. And life is all about suffering because of ignorant desire. And so this is a basic introduction here for the sort of meditation that I do. I recognize that God is in all of the deities and forces that I have mentioned. It's a particularization, personification of the God force in one form or another. And my desire is to integrate all of this and to come into harmony with the divine and accomplish the great work, which is self-realization and also the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel, okay, which I usually ask for in the beginning of the prayer, but which because I haven't done this specifically before that I can remember, trying to remember everything while at the same time that you're doing it, I'll get much more fluid at it as time passes. That's always the case with me. The more I do something, the more it becomes like, getting back on the bicycle. Well, this church, which I'm a member of, and I guess there are other members, maybe they don't know it yet, or maybe they were here even before me, but this is the first church of the presence of God. And the entire tenet of the church, the protocols, the scripture, is practicing the presence of the indwelling God within you, and you're awakening to the consciousness of that. Coming in then to super consciousness or God consciousness, and being able to exist in that consciousness in all your comings and goings in the world, in whatever you do. And one of the best ways to get around to doing that is to act as if God were acting through you, as if God were speaking when you speak. God was listening when you're hearing, is seeing when you see, is in your thoughts, is guiding all of your actions. And if you do that, well, God is sensitive to everything that you do. He knows what you're up to every moment. And what you're doing is appealing to him to come and carry out the very thing that you are presently acting out. And God will do this according to your sincerity and according to, the fixity of your purpose and your loyalty to the program, the continuation of what you're doing. God will arrive, and it will happen in spurts and moments. I'm speaking from experience here. Suddenly, whoa, he's there. Then a lot of time he isn't. But he is, but you're just unaware of it. But other times when you are aware of it, and it is profound and amazing and beautiful and heartbreaking. Now, I know that this which I've spent here tonight, even though Jesus Christ is possibly my greatest hero, and I love him a great deal, I am not always able to get along with Christians no matter what I do. Because in this day and age, the fixity of the church has gotten so crystallized and rigidified, okay, that it's just the fundamentalism is like, you know, the love, the freedom, the God side of it, it's not there anymore, okay? It's just all hammering by the book. And as long as you're by the book, well, then they can have the fellowship and get along with you because you're all agreeing to walk along this, narrow lane of protocols, and you better not step off because you're going to get shit otherwise. You probably can't say shit either, but see, I can. Because I don't belong in any of those churches. I belong to the First Church of the Presence of God. So, we have different rules. And sometimes I say we make them up as we go along. No, this is not the case. But we believe in ageless wisdom. Ageless wisdom. That means it was the same 1,000,000 years ago as it is today, as it will be 1,000,000 years from now. It's ageless. It's timeless. And it is always present in the consciousness of the rishis, whom I mentioned earlier, which are very high-level yogis, and great Christian mystics, illumined Buddhists, Sufis, also of an illumined station. Yeah, all of these groups have their representatives. And I celebrate all of them and I honor all of them. And God exists in every one of these traditions. None of them is superior to the other. And you're a fool if you think so. And you can argue with me. No, you can't argue with me because I don't argue. However, you can be not in agreement with what I have to say. And that's fine. That's not going to affect what I do at all. I'm going to continue to do it to the degree that the Lord inspires me to do. And it's my entire life. It's pretty much all I do. It is integrated with every aspect of my life. And when I say every aspect, I mean every aspect, even when I go to the bathroom, okay? Every single act that I engage in my human routines, God is a part of each of them, and there's an understanding that takes place there. When I'm going to the bathroom, I'm eliminating old, outworn ideas, parts of myself that are no longer necessary. And when I'm eating, I am bringing in new qualities and new aspects as I grow and evolve spiritually into ever higher levels of consciousness, which is it's going to happen, and it is happening, and it's my due because I am the Son of God, as anyone who chooses to claim that station can do. We are all offspring of the divine. You can believe otherwise if you like. I choose not to. I choose to believe that I am a son of God, and I happen to know that I am. So, now, what you can't see in this room at this time, you see the tarot cards behind me, but there are pictures, very large pictures of the masters all around. There's Swami Vivekananda and the Divine Mother below him. Here is the Guru Bawa. There's Lord Babaji. Here is Lord Ramakrishna, who is the teacher of Swami Vivekananda. And then Lord Lahiri Mahasaya, Sri Yukteswar, and Paramahansa Yogananda, who are the three disciples of Babaji, who created the Kriya Yoga lineage. And those three were his spiritual offspring. And these are all individuals, very high individuals, who have had a profound impact upon me. They're not all here. Mikhail Ivanov, I don't have a picture of him up yet. I will. I don't have a picture of Jesus Christ because there are no pictures of Jesus Christ. But I know what Jesus Christ looks at. He looks like every one of us. He is every one of us, come to and for every one of us to awaken each of us to the Christ within. Jesus was a man. Christ is a station. And others have realized that station since he has been here. You can mention, St. Francis, St. Augustine, St. Anthony. There are any number of them that were legitimate. And so you have it. Of course, the churches have been the source of great misery in this world because they're for the profit of the priest class. And that's the case with all of these religions, Some are more sincere than others. But the time has come. A new avatar is in approach or even already presently here, and everything is now going to change. For Christians, they can see this as the second coming of Jesus because that is what it is. It is my belief, and this is what I have learned intuitively, what has been taught to me in my inner meditations, that Christ, the avatar, will be coming in the human heart this time, wherever a place has been prepared for him. There's 8 million plus people here. The likelihood of him showing up as just one individual, not so great. And the Aquarian age is the age of brotherhood, and I intuited from that, oh, well, that seems to imply, yes. And Now, this is not to say there will not be expressions of the avatar. There are probably going to be, I've been told 7, who are going to be in different parts of the world. And they will be leading the sheep according to the traditions of whatever is most prominent in that land. And there are different names for this avatar. Maitreya, Kalki, the Mahdi, returning Jesus Christ. There are a number of names for this particular force. And I don't guess that part of it is important. What's important is that he comes and that we have prepared a place and that we are open to this. This is a time of great distraction and also great seeming evil. And Satanism is very powerful on the planet at this time. And the synagogue of Satan has far more power than they have ever had. And they think it's their time. They're going to seize the reins of power and plunge the world into a hellish landscape. But this they're not going to do because Mr. Apocalypse is here. And so he's uncovering and unveiling and revealing things and also stimulating the awakening that is happening en masse. And as the awakening occurs, people will see what is happening. They'll see what's taking place. It won't be hidden from them. And so then the malefactors, the evildoers, they're going to be running for cover. But also within them, they are going to be awakened and see the nature of what they've been up to, who they are and what they do, and they'll be left defenseless against their own conscience. So never fear, there's never been a time when God was not all-powerful. There never will be such a time. Everything's under control. Whatever apprehensions you have about this might happen, that might happen, don't worry about any of that, okay? Worry about where you are spiritually. That's what you need to worry about. Worry about what your relationship is with the divine being. Yeah, because, yes, well. And then, so the meditation comes to an end, and you're gonna, and then I will close it with more soham, soham. You can use om. You can chant the name of, or repeat the name of Jesus Christ over and over. Whatever format you want to put this in, you can. Borrow from what I have presented to you, what's useful to you, or what you can fit into your traditions without injury, and take it from there. But by all means, do something. Okay, my friends, let us put an end to this first episode. Please forgive me for perhaps falling short this time. I just started. I haven't done any videos and I can't remember when. And I'm a little bit out of practice. So, but I'll get it together as we go. You might be surprised. So, well, it's always been the case in the past. So, many blessings upon you. May the Lord express intense and incredible generosity and mercy upon you, and may you awaken to a better image of yourself, and may your suffering melt away and all your troubles disappear. And may love, the great love, flood your heart. And may you then liberally share it with each and every one you meet. God bless you one and all.